But right now, we're going to say hello to everyone. My name is Reverend Jerry Hobby. I am the spiritual director of Spiritual Enlightenment and Truth Focused Ministry. And we're here to celebrate life. And the way we like to celebrate life, we're celebrating it with joy. This is holy season. And with it being holy season, I say every season is holy season. We get to anchor and bring in warmth into the world. And so we like to do it through this thing we like to call meditation. Some people like to say we're being mindful. I like to say we're warming the field of life. So I invite you to sit in the silence with us for a while. Just breathe. I'm inviting you to soften your shoulders. I'm inviting you to drop into the heart space. And I'm inviting you to just do some heart-focused breathing. And if you're uncomfortable with closing your eyes, just soften your gaze. And I invite you to soften your gaze and cast your eyes upward. Our reading this morning comes from 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. Today's reading is entitled, I Am Joyful in the Joy of God. We start with a reading from Acts chapter 2, verse 28. Thou hast made known to me ways of life. Thou shalt make me full of joy with thy countenance. Emerson says that prayer is a proclamation of a joyful and beholding soul. And throughout the Bible, we find so many references to the joy of God and the gladness that we should have in its presence. How can we help being glad and filled with joy if we believe in the presence and the power back of everything is one perfect life, forever giving of itself, forever flowing through us in wondrous light and power? Jesus says that if the multitude did not break forth in song, the very stones would be compelled to, by which he meant that all nature is alive and awake and aware with the divine presence, and that all nature and everything is in life responds to the song of the heart. Therefore, today I'm filled with joy. Let every sense of depression and heaviness depart from my mind, and let my soul be lifted up in the song of the giver of all life and the joy of living. Joy shall accompany me like a companion, and happiness shall be with me as a comrade. There is a song in my heart singing into the creator of all things, and there is an invisible chorus responding through everything in nature, through every person I meet. For today I am meeting everything with joy and happiness, with song and laughter, and with the gladness of the heart. I proclaim this day to be one of happiness, of thanksgiving, and of praise to the Most High God, to the divine presence that inhabits eternity and finds a dwelling place in my own soul. Today I express joy and gratitude for this inner presence, and this presence in which I am enveloped is one living spirit of God and responsiveness. My Father in my heaven and my Father in every other person's heaven, the author of joy, of peace, and wholeness. I invite you to sit with those words right now and just anchor in the space of love. Our reading this morning comes from 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. Today's reading is entitled, I Am Joyful in the Joy of God. We start off with a reading from Acts chapter 2, verse 28. Thou hast made known to me the ways of life. Thou shalt make me full of joy with thy countenance. Emerson says that prayer is the proclamation of a joyful and beholding soul. And throughout the Bible, we find so many references to the joy of God and the gladness that we should have in its presence. How can we help being glad and filled with joy if we believe that the presence and the power back of everything is one perfect life, forever giving of itself, forever flowing through us in wondrous light and power? Jesus said that if the multitude would not break forth in song, the very song stones would be compelled to, by which he meant that all of nature is alive and awake and aware with the divine presence, that all nature and everything in life responds to the song of the heart. Therefore, and I invite you to join me right now, because we get an opportunity to affirm this presence and to be the song. Unmute yourselves, and I invite you to repeat after me. And if you're in our audience, our social platform, please join us if you're in a safe space. If not, be mindful and just open your hearts as we echo these words into the sound and the vibration of life and the vibration of your soul. Therefore, today, I am filled with joy.
I am filled with joy.
Let every sense of depression
Let every sense of depression
or heaviness
or heaviness
depart from my mind.
Depart from my mind.
And let my soul be lifted up
let my soul be lifted up
in song to the giver of life
in song to the giver of life
and to the joy of living.
and to the joy of living.
Joy shall accompany me
Joy
Joy shall accompany me
like a companion,
like a companion,
and happiness shall be
and
and happiness shall be
with me as a comrade.
with me as a comrade.
There is a song in my heart,
There
There is a song in my heart,
singing unto the Creator of all things.
singing unto the
to the
Creator of all things.
There is an invisible chorus responding
It is an invisible chorus responding
through everything in nature,
through everything in
everything in nature,
through every person I meet.
through
every
every
person
person
I
I
meet.
meet.
For today I am meeting
For today
Today
I
I am
am
meeting
everything with joy
everything with joy
and happiness,
and
and
happiness,
happiness,
with song and laughter,
with
with
song
song
and
and laughter,
and with the gladness of the heart.
and with the gladness of the heart.
I proclaim this day
I proclaim this day
to be one of happiness,
to be one of happiness,
happiness,
of thanksgiving,
of
of
thanksgiving,
thanksgiving,
and of praise
and
and
of
of praise
praise
to the Most High God,
to the
to the
Most High
Most High
God,
God,
to the divine presence
to
to
the
the
divine
divine
presence
presence
that inhabits eternity
that
that
inhabits
inhabits
eternity
eternity
and finds a dwelling place in its own soul.
and
and
finds a
finds a
dwelling
dwelling
place in
place
its
in its
own
own
soul.
soul.
Today I express joy
Today I express joy
and gladness
and
and
gladness
gladness
to the inner presence,
to
to
the
the
inner
inner
presence,
presence,
and this presence in which I am
and this presence in which I am,
enveloped in one living spirit
enveloped in one living spirit
of color
of color
and responsiveness.
and
and
responsiveness.
responsiveness.
My Father
My
My
Father
Father
in heaven,
in heaven
and my Father
and my
and my
Father
Father
in every other person's heaven,
in
in
every
every
other
other
person's
person's
heaven,
heaven,
the author of joy,
the author
author
of
of
joy,
joy,
of peace,
of
of
peace,
and wholeness.
and
and
wholeness.
wholeness.
Just breathe those words in right now. The author of it all. The great story of life and the story of joy, the story of peace, the story of wholeness, the story of success. We hear the words, if God be for us, God being good, then who or what can be against us? No thing. We rise in this consciousness today. We rise and acknowledge this wonderful power everywhere. We open and make welcome this divine presence within our lives intentionally today. Wherever we go, whatever we encounter, regardless of appearances, we stand in a place of strength. We stand in a place of commitment, focused on one power, one presence, one life. And that one power, that one presence, that one life fulfills itself beyond that which we cannot even imagine today. It fulfills itself and personalizes itself as an uplifted, elevated state of being. And that state of being, we name it right now as the divine blessing within our life. We name it as the practical experience within our lives. So, what I'm knowing is joy is the only power expanding itself right now within every breath that we breathe, whatever we bring forth within our experience today, whether it is planting flowers, whether it is just breathing and embracing the beauty and the spirit of God in the air, whether it is greeting, just being in a space of unconditional love and allowing kindness to be our experience, our go to, compassion, allowing all of that to expand itself and awaken itself within our souls and with everyone we interact and come into contact with, allowing that same nature of abundance and joy to express itself within our affairs, within our business affairs, our finances, within our health, within all of our relationships, and within that creative spark within us that is so fulfilling that we give away with generosity our gifts, the blessings overflowing. So, in this sacred space, right here, right now, we declare joy as the essence of life and joy as the only intention. And we allow that joy to go forth and multiply itself and fulfill itself in an authentic way that uplifts all of humanity. And we allow joy to override anything that is unlike this. So, in this space of joy right now, we give thanks, we let it be, and we affirm. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Amen. Amen.
Now it is. Amen.
Ashe.
Amen. Amen. Ashe.
So I'm going to open my eyes, look at you with joy, And as I am looking at you with joy, I wanted you to see my eyes. I want you to know too that today is our opportunity to allow joy to express itself. So many years ago, I had a student, and this was in my previous life, and that student was working on a breakthrough. But the student didn't realize the power of her name. Her name was Joy. And what I would do is every time she would come and she'd bring her stuff to me, she was working on a career change. She was an adult. And I would say, Joy, 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 joy. And that joy, joy, joy would trigger something. That joy, joy, joy was something that was so powerful. It supported her in moving through her transformation. I want you to know that the back of your names, all of your names, is the power of joy. Now I'll tell you because I've looked up my name. And Jerry, when you look up Jerry and you look up the meaning, they may tell you I'm kind of warlike. Well, if you believe it, but I believe in this power of joy. And I'll tell you, Jerry brings forth the power of joy because that is my intention. Within you, there is an innate power that knows the power of joy. Let that joy fulfill itself through you in everything today. The serious, the not so serious, the complicated, wherever it is, let the joy come through. I'm going to say goodbye to you.